Good evening. This is the video newsletter for Buy Sell Short for Wednesday, September 7th. Big bounce back today in the markets. Yesterday we were on the precipice. It was the end of the world, doom and gloom. Gold was going over $2,000 a share. And, of course, we had news come out again in Trumpus. The thing we were waiting for was the court decision from the German High Court as to whether it was legal for Germany to participate in the European bailouts, and the German High Court said yes, but in the future they need to ask, I guess, the German government, or I guess the elected body, for input on any future bailouts. So kind of a mixed bag, but really the fact that they said yes and things are so bearish right now and the way this market is, any whiff of positive news and we see a massive move on the market. And again, today was no different. It can be frustrating when you see the market gap open 150 points and you're like, what the hell? How do I chase these stocks? It was the end of the world yesterday. I couldn't really buy, and then today we're up 150 points and everything's gapping up 2, 5, 6%, and that's just typical in markets like this. Looking at the 15-minute chart, you can see we ended the session right at the 200-day moving average in this time frame. RSI is up there in overbought territory. Actually, on the 15-minute chart, this is the most overbought we've been on RSI in the last month. We get a better idea on the daily chart, and one thing I mentioned, especially in that webinar we had yesterday, was, despite all the doom and gloom out there, we continue to make higher lows on the Dow since we put in that post debt ceiling low back in the second week of August. So we continue to push higher. What we really need to see is a break, and a solid break and close through that 11,600 area. We've got 9/11 just around the corner, and unless we get some skeletons pulled out of the closet in Europe over the next couple of days, we could be in store for a little bit of a move here. RSI on the daily chart here is trying to break 50 again. And if we scroll down, you can see stochastics came all the way back to the 50 level, which is what we like to see before another rebound back up. So the indicators are there. We are overbought on the 15-minute chart, but just like we were mega oversold for many, many weeks, you can remain overbought for many, many days before the rug finally gets pulled out. One thing to keep an eye on the 15-minute chart, we're probably looking at a possible golden cross. I'd say maybe Friday, more than likely next week. SMH, nice bounce back on this one today. Very close eye on this one. I'd be looking to pick up or rebuy our position on any sort of dip back under the 28.40 level, but I would definitely be keeping an eye on that $30 level for a possible break ad here. Chart is shaping up. RSI looks pretty decent. ADX is turning around. Stochastics, we're looking like we're going to put in a reversal there. And one thing to keep in mind, here is the VIX chart going back. This is the monthly VIX chart. You hear a lot of this chatter on CNBC about the VIX chart. Here is the October crisis where the VIX spiked up to 90. Then we had a decent sort of market move into December, and then another plunge until we made those March lows. Right now, the VIX is looking like it did back in March when the market bottomed. Then let's pull up a daily chart right now on the VIX. Here you can see higher lows. We're looking like we're going to break down from this flag here, and that would be a positive for the market over, the next several weeks. And another thing to keep an eye on that, here's a chart of GLD, gold. Gold got taken to the woodshed again today, down big. The GLD, the tracker, look at that big gap down. I mean, if you were in this one yesterday, you just got decimated this morning on this. Target probably here, 165, the 50-day moving average. It's been a while since, this big run. We're up, $40 on GLD over the last 7 weeks. And, what we need for this to be a double top confirmation would be a break of 165. And gold down around this level will mean stocks that are doing good. So, fingers crossed that the gold bugs get a little bit of taste of what the longs and bulls have had to put through over the last 7 weeks. Stock plays. Big move in the market today, but a lot of stocks were pretty dead. It was really random out there, and that is typical on the first day of a bounce back. The last two 4-day rallies that we've seen since the August 8 lows, it's been typically day 2, day 3 that we started to see that action spread out in the market. And what we're going to be focused on over the next several days, if this market does indeed hold up, is stocks that came down with the market. Stocks that had, good news or no news, but got impacted by the shitty market that we have. WSTL, this one was at a 250 last week, down with the market over the last 3 days. Looks like it's put a nice bottom in here, 221. 8-day moving average, 239. 20-day exponential 248, making for some nice bounce potential on this stock. And as you can see, stochastics back down in the basement. And this is a company, they got a boatload of cash, they make money, they got net income, EPS, stock buyback in the right sector, etc., etc., etc. And the chart here looks good for the near term. HIMX, another one beaten over the head by the market, has a stock buyback in place, high cash. They expect to have their revenues for tablet-type technology explode in Q3. And, these guys aren't allowed to say who uses their product, but, we've got the new Amazon tablet coming out in Q3. These guys saying their revenue for this kind of market is going to ramp in Q3. Makes you want to go, especially with the stock down here at the bottoms. 20-day exponential, 10% higher at 143. And then we've got the 50-day moving average up there at 170. Sort of reminds me of OPWV, which we played oh so successfully over the last month. Got taken down, treaded water, kaboom. So let's see if we can get a similar move out of HIMX over the near term. Biotech stocks are probably going to start to heat up. We saw a few of them move today, but volume was really, really low. LXRX, no news. This one was a $1.44 last week. Down with the market. Nice little bottoming action. 20-day up there at 133. Nice upside for a stock at the bottom. Biotechs, got cash. Stochastics in the basement. Nice risk reward here in the near term. ACLS, this one, same sort of thing. Loves its 20-day exponential. Every time it sells off, it always bounces back. 20-day is up there at 138. This is a stock that has been bouncing back to its $1.50 area each and every time we've had a rally in the market. So, we're trading at $1.32. That's 10% upside here, which, is nothing to shake your nose at, especially in a market like this and stochastics in the basement. So, over the next few days, we're probably going to be starting to move into some plays, but I'm going to still maintain my half position stance. We're not going to go crazy. And also, I'd love to and want to, and the goal is to stay 90% plus cash nightly. We're going to stay very liquid and play these stocks intraday, a couple of swingers, and then, if the market finally breaks out of this 3-4 day rally mode and then tank mode and actually tries to go into a sustained up move, or a move up there above 11,600 plus, then we can start to modify our strategy. So that's what we're looking at right now. I sent out an email, the webinar yesterday. I know you guys who came into the webinar liked it. If you missed it, there is a recording. I sent out an email. It's about an hour. We went over position management, and just some basic stuff. If you've got any ideas for future webinars, we're going to start doing these once a week. So shoot me your ideas on those stock webinars. And that's it, really. Any questions, feel free to send me an email. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Good night.